Yo, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tikki Takhar Podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs on the way. And this is the very first episode. The way this is going to work is we're just going to run through the Premier League games in chronological order, talk a bit about both teams, the result, how things went, and hopefully be pretty consistent and have these come out once a week. For the first episode, I'm with my mate Michael. Michael, what are you saying?
Talk to me, everybody. How are you? How you doing? Happy to be here. First episode for real. 3 episodes later. Well, not later.
yeah.
3 weeks in.
Disclaimer: we tried to release one last week, but had some technical difficulties. Yeah,
you know how it is.
Issues,
young in the game.
Yeah,
learning the
but
ropes.
hopefully everything works out all right this time.
Sure.
So without further ado, we'll jump into the first game of the weekend, the one that set us off, which was Chelsea v Luton. Chelsea winning 3-0. I think I was talking to a mate of mine who's a Chelsea fan, and when the lineup came out, he was a bit annoyed that Poch is still kind of sticking with this like
5 at the back thing.
5 at the back / 4 at the back with Chilwell at left wing. Like, what do you make of it? I think Luton at home, I think Chelsea fans are thinking, yeah, we'll see the standard 4-2-3-1. I think in Poch's defence, it is a 4-2-3-1, but I think he's playing Chilwell at left wing, which I'm not really sure why he's doing that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think he thinks maybe I've got Thiago Silva. I've also got Colwill, who both need to start. I've got Chilwell, who also needs to start.
That's perfect for a back four, though, no?
Yeah. So who's the other centre back there?
Dizazi. You don't need all three at a minute because now Colwill's doing a shift at left back.
What? And they won 3-0. Yeah. Have Chelsea been conceding goals? They conceded 2 to Liverpool.
Well, it was 1-1 that one, wasn't it?
Or was it 1-1?
I think it was 1-1.
I thought it was
2-2. Yeah. But then they conceded 3 to West Ham.
3 to West Ham.
Obviously, the late penalty.
Yeah. I understand where Chelsea fans are coming from, but I also understand where Poch is coming from. Apart from West Ham, which I don't even think that they had I don't think it was a poor performance. I think they just got done. Like they literally just got done by like the Moyes counter-attack team.
Yeah, because in the first half they actually played quite well.
And even the same thing with Liverpool. Maybe not in the first half, but after Liverpool scored and went ahead, I thought Chelsea
they came back on top.
Had most of the game. So I think performance-wise it's working, and now he's just seeing the results from it. I hear what Chelsea fans are saying. But also Chelsea have like 7 or 8 centre backs.
Yeah.
Like
they have a lot of players. Their turnover this transfer window, the amount of players out, amount of players in, it's been crazy.
They have so much money tied up in central defenders that I think it makes sense for Poch to try and find a solid base first and then focus on how am I going to get the strikers and guys to score. But first things first, I've got to get clean sheets. I've got to keep scores down. I've got to The problem with Chelsea last year was that they were too easy to play against, and it was just...
Mikel did that when he first came to Arsenal as well, and he was playing 5 at the back.
Yeah.
Just because I think he knew that but I think I don't think there's 2 central defenders he trusts to play as a pair. So I think he thinks if he brings Colwill, Thiago Silva and Dizazi in there, even if he has to play Colwill at left back, it's a bit more solid and a bit more physical, that team.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this Chilwell left wing thing can last.
That's the thing. How long can Chilwell stay fit? How long can he stay up there? He's not even produced yet, really.
Yeah.
So it can't even be like it's an output thing. But I do think what he wants is to get his defensive principles locked in, and then
build from there.
Yeah, and then start making moves. Chelsea have who next week?
Chelsea play Forest.
Next week
at home.
At home. So I think that's a big game because Caicedo would have had 2 weeks by now. Lavia would be there. Enzo's obviously still around, so it's like he should have had at least 2 weeks to work with his quote unquote first team, first 11 of players, first 14 players.
Yeah,
and I don't know how much longer he can persist with the 5 at the back thing, but if I was a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't be too worried about it now.
Yeah.
Just because I know results have been wherever, but performance-wise, they've been a lot better than I thought they would be. Like, I was like, everybody was saying Chelsea was going to finish 4th, 5th, this and that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And I was just like, where is this coming from? Like, I really did not see it with Chelsea.
I I think you know this. What I really rate Poch.
Yeah,
What he did at Tottenham as well, and I think I could see him definitely doing well at Chelsea. I didn't think they would get Champions League, but now that it's top 5, and I don't think the other teams around them look that great.
Yeah.
I think they could definitely get in there. But I think that the knock on effect and the consequence of playing Chilwell at left wing, I mean, people obviously have their opinions on Mudryk and whatever, and obviously Arsenal fans want to see him do badly and whatever because he chose Chelsea. But I think I just look at it and I think, why not play Chilwell at left back, and you can bring Mudryk in at left wing, and you can just give him a run of games and just kind of let him kind of play himself into form if he is going to reach form, rather than play Chilwell at left wing, have Mudryk on the bench, Madueke on the bench. I think they're attacking players that can actually help you.
Yeah, there's got to be something he's seeing in training that's forcing him to believe that Mudryk is not ready for that run of games. And to be fair to him, I also kind of hear it and see it.
Yeah.
Like, even when Mudryk's come on in some of the games, I don't think he's done enough to be like, there is a player in there for sure, but like, I don't think I've ever seen enough where it's like, oh yeah, that's what you spent 100 mil on.
Yeah.
Or, you know, that's what you spent 90 mil on.
But we'll talk about Sterling as well.
Yeah, Raheem is back. Well,
played well last week.
Unquote.
2 goals and an assist this week. Great first goal.
Yeah.
Took it past a couple of players, finished with his left foot. Great assist for Jackson as well. I think that's a big thing. If Sterling can score 15 plus, I think Chelsea will have a very good season. And we know he can do that.
You know, we know he can do that. You know, I'm a fan of Sterling.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that, and as a fan of Sterling played well. I do think that if you're relying on Sterling to get you 15 goals to see where your season gets you, you're in a precarious place. Sterling is a very good player. He had Luton defenders on toast. Sterling can have most defenders on toast in, you know, of any fucking type. You know, Championship, Premier League, Champions League. He's that good. But I need to see it more consistently for Chelsea for Sterling, because I actually, at the start of last year, said that he was going to be one of the signings of the summer when he went for 50 mil.
Yeah.
So, and he was not terrible last year, but he was pretty terrible last year. So I just kind of think that I'm holding my praise for Sterling to see if he can be consistent and do what he needs to do this year. But just speaking about his performance against Luton, he killed it, bro. He crushed them.
Yeah.
You know, he's back on those mazy runs. He looks like every time he gets into the box, he's either going to get a shot on goal or win a penalty or create a chance or do something. I also think that they need to have more than Nicholas Jackson to get the best out of Sterling. I think Sterling does well when 3 other players in the box are being marked by the team's 3 best central defenders or 3 best defenders.
Yeah.
And then there's one man who doesn't really pick up Sterling or doesn't know his defense.
Sterling, the best part of Sterling's game is his ISO game.
Yeah.
When he's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And he's got space to run into behind or come inside, and that's when no fullback other than Tomiyasu wants to be in that situation.
But I think you can only get Sterling into those situations when somebody else is being occupied in the middle. If guys are like, oh, Sterling is the only threat.
You can kind of just focus on him.
Yeah.
But I think Nicholas Jackson's done well in the first 3 games. Obviously got his first goal against Luton on the weekend. Proper kind of striker's goal. Sterling whips it across the box and Jackson's there. But I think on your point about obviously Sterling being signing of the summer last year, obviously there were so many problems at Chelsea last year.
Yeah, it's tough to
Tuchel got sacked early.
Exactly.
Potter came in, I think, and not one of those Chelsea players had a good season last year.
No, I agree.
But yeah, I think the way that the team shapes up, Enzo and Caicedo, I think if Sterling can be the talisman of the team, because my whole thing about the Chelsea team was, and whether or not they would get top 4 is where their goal's going to come from.
Yeah.
Remember when we just missed out on it to Tottenham?
Yeah.
And we had Lacazette up top.
Yeah.
Who scored 2 open play goals all season.
Yeah.
But there was a lack of goals in that team, especially come the end of the season. And I see that with Chelsea as well. But I think if Sterling can kind of be the talisman that leads the charge, I think they can do well.
But yeah, no, I think they can do well if he can lead the charge. I need to see like consistent weeks of getting goals and assists. What I also fear about Sterling, and I'm a fan of Sterling, that's the problem, is that he might do this week, and we won't see or hear from him until match week 10, where he'll get another assist, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's the first time Sterling has assisted since Luton. Or it's the first time Sterling has scored since Luton."
Yeah.
And
it can't be that sporadic.
Exactly.
He needs
if you're gonna be a talisman, we kind of need to bank on you week in, week out, and for the big games. I wonder what Chelsea are going to do in those big games, because Sterling hasn't, like, he's only had Liverpool so far this season.
Yeah,
but he hasn't like lit it up. But I do give Chelsea some grace, because Nkunku's injured, and all of the plans that Poch probably had preseason had to be shifted, had to change.
Because they don't have a number 10 at the minute. Even on the weekend, they played Caicedo, Enzo, Gallagher.
Yeah.
Like, Carney got injured, and Carney looked decent when he was in there.
And he clearly doesn't trust Madueke or Mudryk enough yet to play games, to start those positions. I think Sterling will do well. I think Chelsea will do well. I agree Poch is a good manager. I don't think Chelsea fans should worry too much about the 5 at the back thing. It's not even like Chelsea are known for some sort of brand or style of football. Yeah. So it's like, you can't sit here and complain about like...
It was funny though, my mate's a Chelsea fan. When he saw the lineup, was like to me, we just can't escape it. They had it with Tuchel. Potter came in and was doing what he was doing. Then they thought Poch 4-2-3-1 guy. He was like, we just can't escape this 5 at the back.
Yeah. Look on Luton though.
Yeah, on Luton. I mean, they look so bad. They look so bad. Man. I think we'll cut them some slack, because they haven't had a home game yet. And obviously away to Brighton, away to Chelsea.
Tough.
Like, any team that's fighting down the bottom can lose those games.
Yeah.
But they've got their first home game this weekend, Friday night, against West Ham,
who are in form.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Luton get something out of that. Their first home game, Premier League, under like Friday night. Like,
no,
but their home form, I don't think their home form is going to be good enough to keep them up purely on that. They're going to need to get some
in the Premier League. How many away games do you play? What's
19?
I think they could lose 16 out of their 19 away games.
But Forest did something like similar to that last season. Forest's away form was appalling. But at home, they beat us. They drew with Chelsea.
But that's the thing. I agree with your point
with
there.
Man City.
I don't think their home form is going to be good enough. For them to stay up.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Luton are in trouble, man. There's no way.
Like, you just look at their team.
They're in trouble. There's no way for me to sugarcoat it or hide it, or like
you know, when Leeds came up with Bielsa, you were kind of looking at when they started playing, and you were like, some of these players can actually play. Like Calvin Phillips, even Bamford when he came up. Stuart Dallas was putting shifts in midfield, left back, right back. They look like Mateus Klick even. They look like they could be Premier League players. Even when Brentford came up, similar thing, like Christian Norgard, those kind of players, Rico Henry. In this Luton team, I just don't know if any of them look like they're Premier League level.
Somebody was telling me that like Ross Barkley didn't even stand out, and
he just looked like another guy. Just looked like he'd been playing for Luton for 4 years.
Luton are in trouble, man. There's no way around it. If I was them, I'd already be planning, and this is such like defeatist talk.
But if I'm not going to write them off yet. It has been Brighton and Chelsea.
Yeah, it has been Brighton and
both
Chelsea.
Away from home.
Things can change. You know, you only need to win. At the end of the day, you only need to win 3 games between like March and May.
Yeah, for teams down there, if you win 2 on the bounce, you could jump like 6 places.
But if I was a Luton fan, I would enjoy every moment. Thinking we might never get back here.
Yeah, this is the holy grail. But yeah, we'll move on to the next game. I think the next game was Bournemouth Tottenham.
I didn't actually. I watched bits and bobs of this game. I
think on Bournemouth, they looked quite poor to me. I know that they obviously sacked Gary O'Neill at the end of last season, even though he kept them up. Brought in this new guy who had done decent. I think Real Vallecano.
I was going to say somewhere in Spain.
But they just don't look like a team that can A, score goals, and B, defend their box like they're going to have to.
They definitely can't defend their box. I think Bournemouth will stay up. I think yesterday was a poor showing, and they were at home. Yeah,
Yeah, they were at home. Yeah.
I just think that they're gonna be in trouble, but not enough trouble. Not like they have Billing, Solanke,
Yep.
and a couple other pieces
Yeah.
that are like, all right, you're you're enough.
Yeah.
You're potentially
Solanke will have to score 8+.
I think you'll have to get double figures.
Yeah, which is tough.
But if he stays fit, he can do, especially around the teams at the bottom, like especially around the Lutons and the Burnleys and the Nottingham Forests and the Sheffields,
definitely,
and the Everton. So I think on Bournemouth, it's like this new manager. By the way, obviously he's from Spain. He has his own ideals, where he wants to play football, all this kind of stuff. He has to. He's got 2 days left of the transfer window, so he either has to get players in that are going to.
They've signed Tyler Adams.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. They signed him just at the weekend, but he wasn't. He
wasn't ready to play. No, that's a decent.
But he's a decent player. Obviously Chelsea almost signed him.
Yeah,
and then took the money away to go buy Caicedo. But yeah, he's decent for a team. Like, I was laughing when Chelsea were going to sign him. Yeah. But for Bournemouth, I think that's a good signing. He'll come in, he'll play every week,
every
if
game.
He's fit.
Him and Billing won't be bad.
Yeah. He'll bring more kind of aggression and steel to the midfield.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think they probably still need one or two more. But
I just think that the coach has to, like, all right, these are my players, my style of football is gonna work, or do they like, all right, I'm in England and I need to stay up and results mean everything, because
he's not gonna do that though.
Because that's the thing, is I wonder with like managers who are coaching teams down the table, you can afford to die on your philosophy, kind of like Marcelo Bielsa.
Yeah,
Marcelo Bielsa. For the simple fact that you can get a job elsewhere. Like a Chile international team will take you, or like some other team in Spain, some other team somewhere else will take you. If you're an English manager who is less likely to coach abroad, it's like you have no other choice.
Yeah, Sean Dyche.
But to get results now. Playing whatever type of football is going to get you those results.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the flexibility to stand on a philosophy and be like, we pass out the back.
Yeah, this is what we do.
Yeah, we play pressing football. Because if it doesn't work, so that's my thing with Bournemouth, is like, you had Gary O'Neill in last season who understood English football.
Did a great job.
Exactly.
Arguably manager of the season.
Exactly. Miracle worker.
Yeah.
And now you've gone for, I don't agree that you should have got rid of him, but whatever reasons, you've got rid of him. Say he had a bust up, say he didn't like what the management and stuff were doing. But you've gone for a different type of manager.
Yeah.
To play a different type of football. And have you taken into account, the players you have, where your club is.
It's a gamble.
It's a big gamble. Yeah. But I still think they'll be safe. I still think they'll be fine. And on Tottenham's case, obviously they're on the come up.
You know what? I mean, Tottenham's start to the season has been Brentford away, Man United at home, and Bournemouth away.
Yeah, and they have 7 points.
Which is a tough start. And to come out with 7 points, I think they look good. I think Udogie looks like a player.
Yeah, he does.
My mate who watches a lot of Serie A told me even before the start of the season that he was going to be decent.
Serious.
He'll go to a big club soon.
Madison is who we thought he was.
I mean, Madison's similar to Bruno. Well, obviously, we were speaking off air about Bruno being like a creative machine.
Yeah.
And obviously, we'll come on to that. And Madders, I think, is in a similar kind of category.
Yeah.
Where you give him the ball and
he makes something happen.
He's just a GA guy. Like, he's FPL cat. I'm almost certainly going to make him my transfer this week. Because he's just cash money, GA. He scored. He should have had an assist. He played well. Kulusevski got on the score sheet. Richarlison was shocking.
Is it?
Like, there was one point where the ball came across from a square pass and he kind of like put his foot on the ball and slipped on the ball, fell over.
Richarlison is a funny case because I feel like he's a 7 or 8 Premier League goal striker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan Ayew.
Yeah. And I thought that, like, he's only, 24, 25, some shit.
Is it?
Yeah, he's young.
I didn't realize he was that young.
He's young. So I always assumed that he would, like, go to a bigger club and kick on and, like, do what he needs to do to get the starts for Brazil, all of that kind of stuff. I thought it's impossible to have a worse season than you had last year at Tottenham. And obviously he won't.
He'll score more goals.
Exactly. He'll score more goals than that. But I'm also looking at Richarlison like, Ange Postecoglou should be your manager.
Yeah.
He plays football that is for a striker that lives on the shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Maddison.
Yeah, arguably the best number 10.
Yeah, you've got Son, you've got Kulusevski, who can put in a decent ball in the box. You can find you in behind. Like
Porro and Udogie can both
some point. Now's not the time to berate him because it's early in the season. But at some point, there's no excuses for Richarlison.
Well, they're linked with Brennan Johnson, isn't it? Tottenham?
Yeah. That's what they put in some bids, but
for like 40+ million.
There's no way that.
But I don't even know if they view Brennan Johnson as a striker.
Do you think he's a Richarlison? Not a Richarlison, sorry. A Kulusevski.
Yeah, I think they might view him as a winger because he played striker a bit for Forest last year, but then obviously when Awoniyi started coming in, they started playing him and Gibbs White off Awoniyi.
Yeah.
But I think a big up Postecoglou as well. Obviously, we're Arsenal fans for those.
For those that don't know.
This, we don't want to do this. And although we're saying this, I'm confident that this bubble will be burst.
That's the thing about Tottenham as well. Is like,
I'm looking forward to that.
Great start to the season. A lot of credit. I know you guys are happy as you should be, but I see so much of that 8th place Arsenal team in them, where it's like you're gonna ball out some games and beat teams that you didn't think you were gonna beat.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna draw with Luton away from home.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna lose to Everton.
You'll get beat at West Ham.
Yeah.
But shout out Postecoglou. Like, it's a tough start to the season that he's had, and like you say, 7 from 9, same as us. And arguably they've had tougher fixtures.
Basuma played well again.
Yep.
Versus Bournemouth.
Speak on it.
Yeah, Basuma has been doing his thing. Yeah. I'm not even, as I said, we're not Tottenham fans.
What was Conte on, man?
Oh, yeah.
What was Conte on?
We're not Tottenham fans, but I also find happiness in seeing Højbjerg just sitting on the bench, riding bench as he should. He's not anything special. Yeah. He's not a Premier League midfielder. Guys try and put him in too many conversations, but he's literally just the other guy. Yeah. He's just the other guy in the team.
He's just the support man for whoever the main guy is.
Yeah, for real. But shout out, as you say, their left back, Udogie.
Yeah. Pape Sarr had another decent game.
He got an assist. I think Tottenham will do well. I think if Tottenham fans go into the season with not that much expectation, you'll have a great season.
And I don't think they do. I think once they lost Harry Kane, I think they all just kind of realized, like, okay, that's 30 goals coming out of the team. Yeah. And obviously some other people will score goals, but they don't know where it's coming from. And I think in everyone else's predictions, like from what I've seen, no one predicted Tottenham to even finish like top 6.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have.
And they still might not. The thing is, the sample size with Postecoglou and Tottenham is so small.
I would like,
and I think that team can get exposed.
I think
the way they play.
I would give him so many flowers if he finds consistency in this team.
Yeah,
I would give him so many flowers because that's the one thing Tottenham have never been.
Yeah, ever. And that's why I don't think he, like Jose and Conte, couldn't do it.
Yeah, couldn't get any consistency. And team.
No offense, but like, what's Postecoglou to them?
Yeah. What do you think about the Dyer links
to Bayern?
Yeah,
I
26 Richarlison.
I want to say I can't believe it, but I mean the Bundesliga is just.
I think Tuchel knows that any player in the Premier League will almost double their output in the Bundesliga. Yeah, not even in goals and assists or anything like that, but just.
So I think Dyer will look decent there.
Genuinely. Exactly. I think just in the sense of like. You've come against the best attackers in the league. The PMP you've seen is off the charts. You'll never have to face PMP like on this scale.
Yeah. The best PMP is in your team.
Exactly. I was gonna say the best PMP players play for your team.
Sane, Gnabry.
So just head the ball away in the box.
Yeah.
Clear your lines. Knock it up the pitch.
Just do what you do best. Like Just bring some English core to that Bayern team.
And Richarlison's 26, so there's no excuses, man.
That's still quite young. That's younger than I thought he was. He seems to have been in the league for ages.
No, he only came a couple of years, but 26 is like...
No, because he was at Watford, isn't it, with Marco Silva?
But he was at Watford for a season.
Yeah, and then Everton put
and then he was
50
Everton
on it,
for 2 seasons, and then I thought he was 20 years old when he was at Watford.
But he was at Watford in 2018, 2017. So that's about 5-6 years that he's been around.
Is it?
Because I remember he won that penalty against us, innit?
Yeah, he moved to Everton in 2018.
Yeah. So that was after a year.
Yeah,
but yeah, well done to Tottenham. Obviously 7 points from 9. Tough start to the season.
Who do they have next?
They got Burnley
at home, away from home.
Away.
Yeah.
Then they got Shef U. This is why Madison's coming into my
team.
team. Yeah. Then they got Shef U at home, and then they got us.
And this is when Madison picks up an injury.
So that game against us will be telling.
Litmus test. Yeah, I think. Anyway, there's still a lot of ifs, ands, and buts
in the future.
There's still a lot of ifs, ands, and buts because they might not get past Shef U and whoever else.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the bubble bursting. I mean, Burnley could do something this weekend.
And wouldn't it be so Tottenham?
Exactly. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me.
It would be so Tottenham.
For Burnley to get their first home win, Vincent Kompany, and then for them to just do something. Saturday, 3:00. No one's watching.
Yeah. No, but shout outs, Ange. You're on my radar. For sure. We'll see what you're saying. If you can keep the consistency up.
I like his I kind of like him as well.
Yeah.
Like his comment about I'm just copying Pep, mate.
Yeah.
Like the fullbacks. I thought it was quite funny. So yeah, but we'll move on to what was unfortunately quite a disappointing result. Arsenal beat Fulham.
A lot to talk about. First things first, the Gabriel thing.
That's the first thing. Yeah. First thing I think we should talk about is Gabriel. Do you want to go first?
It's annoying. It's super, super, super annoying. It's just annoying. But look, I don't know. I've got conflicting emotions, thoughts, whatever about this. I think Gabriel should start for Arsenal Football Club, regardless of what is going on. Unless he's being sold, he should be starting and playing 90-minute matches for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
And he's almost to the point where tactics, not that they should be based around him, but he feels tactically what's the word? Like, secure. He should be able to fit in many tactical iterations. Yeah, you want to play possessive football, you want to start doing this, you want to start doing that. But in all of that, there's a need for a 6'4" guy. He's going to head the ball away. Clear, tidy on the ball.
And the thing I also don't understand on it is, I remember last year when we went to Anfield in that game that we drew 2-2, the way that we set up out of possession, Gabriel was essentially a left back, just doing a job on Salah. And he did a great job. He obviously I know Salah scored, but he kind of marked Salah out the game. Like whenever he was 1v1, he didn't get beat. He did well. But for whatever reason, and for me personally, I've reached my limit with this Gabriel thing. Like we spoke about it last week, and we said if there's any fixture in that, when the fixtures come out and you look at them, if there's any fixture you think, Gabriel starts that game, it's away at Selhurst Park. Yeah. Under the lights at Crystal Palace. It's got Gabriel's the first name on the team
on a
sheet.
Monday.
Ahead of Odegaard, ahead of Saka, ahead of Saliba, Gabriel's there. Because you need that kind of, that fierce kind of wall, that like no fear, gonna go into every challenge, win every header.
Agreed.
And the problem on Saturday against Fulham, and again, like we're not, I don't think we're gonna get too much onto Arteta for this, because 9 times out of 10 Arsenal win that game. We take our chances. We're probably not even really talking about this as much, but because we haven't won that game, and I saw Jimenez win almost every header against Kiwi or Saliba, whoever it was. I saw him win. There's no way that's happening with Gabriel.
Yeah, there isn't. No, I just think that, like, I don't know if Arteta's overthinking it. I don't know what. Last week I was saying that I understand him trying to be tactically flexible and like trying to provide problems. For example, in the terms of like unpredictability. We don't know who's going to start versus United. I don't think anybody knows who's going to start versus United. And I understand the benefit of that to a manager like Mikel Arteta, who has so many plans and so many ideas.
Because he even brought Trossard in for Eddie.
Exactly.
Yeah, which
so
none of us expected.
I do hear that side of things. And I don't want to get carried away just because you dropped 2 points at Fulham. But it also it just does not feel right to see one of your best central defenders sit on the bench, as you can see, two at home.
Yeah.
The first goal is what it is.
Again, we need to talk on this as well. Conceding in the first minute.
Yeah, I'm so done with it.
I saw some stat that was like Arsenal conceded
three
in the 3 goals in the first minute
in our last
home game.
Yeah,
I think their last 10 home games.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm more done with conceding in the first minute than I'm done with not seeing Gabriel in the starting lineup. I'm done with not seeing Gabriel in the starting lineup. But like starting the game with the like, all right, now we need a miracle.
Yeah. Honestly, like I'm sat there in the stadium. I've seen the bad pass. I've seen Pereira get it. I've seen Ramsdale just scrambling back.
Yeah.
And I think Pereira's completely fluffed his shot.
Yeah, he has.
I like people saying, "Oh yeah, he's seen Ramsdale put all of his weight on that side." No, this is Pereira, man.
Yeah, shut up.
Like he's gone to lob him, and he's messed it up, and it's gone in. And from there, I'm sat there, and I'm like, "But now we have to probably score 3 goals because I still don't trust us to only concede 1."
That's the problem. Because we gave them a goal, they will score 1.
Yeah. And now they can just play on the break.
Yeah.
The game's so much harder for us.
And also just their confidence from the beginning. Like, they all like
gives them a lift.
Yeah, they have got something to defend.
And then when we don't take our chances,
it's just
like Saka's header has to score that.
Havertz.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll talk a bit more on Havertz and that. But I think also on that first goal, I don't know what you think, but I think Ramsdale's got to do better.
I was gonna say my problem with the first goal. And I don't know how tough to be on keepers because you don't know what they're trained to do.
Yeah. Well, we've never played in goal. We don't know
like when Saka passes the ball back and it's a bad pass from Saka. Saka had a bad game, just full stop. When he passes the ball back and Ramsdale sees that, I don't know why Ramsdale turns his back to goal.
Just run backwards.
Just run backwards.
Yeah,
just like
keep
exactly.
And
because I think once he turns around to get back onto his line or whatever the hell it is, and then by the time he sees the ball in the air, it's probably too late for him to make a decision. You can't blame him, this and that. But that moment when you saw Pereira latch onto it and you decided to turn around and face the goal, that was when he was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do that, I'm going to try and dink it.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that, look, I can't be overly critical of him, but I do think that he should not have turned around.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy. It just feels sloppy all around.
Yeah.
Saka included, Ramsdale included, it just feels a little bit sloppy.
And we get that obviously in that moment. Obviously, we're talking with hindsight, right? Run backwards and stuff.
Yeah.
We get in the moment, obviously, Ramsdale's got to make a decision. He's probably got to turn and check where his posts are and see where he is. There's a lot he's obviously got to do. But if the ball goes in over Ramsdale, okay, fair enough. Good finish. You've made Andreas or Pereira actually do something to score. But the fact that it's gone in at the near post, low, it's bounced like 3 times before it's gone in. Like, I just think he should be doing better that.
I agree. And then we did get back into it. And what I did like about the game was when we got one, when Vieira came on and we got the penalty,
I knew we would score again.
Exactly.
I knew.
There was inevitability that we were going to score again.
I knew.
Like,
even at half time, I was sat there in the stadium and I was like, there's no way we don't score in this game.
Yeah.
Because like last year, even the season before that, at the Emirates, we'll always score.
Yeah.
Right? We'll always score at least a goal, no matter who we're playing. So I knew we would score. And like you say, when that first one went in, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that it came so quickly and it was like, no, we're taking the game away from you now.
Yeah. And then we just needed to go and get the third, especially when they went down to 10 men.
That is crazy that we didn't see out the game with 10 men, with a man advantage. I think that's where all of the like melodrama and all of the like the bad taste in people's mouths come from, is because I had a sigh of relief when I saw Calvin Bassey go on, and I was like, go off, sorry, and I was like, oh,
yeah, just keep the ball now.
just
just
I saw Jorginho come on. I saw
Zinchenko's on the pitch.
Yeah, I saw all of this, and I was just like, just honestly knock this ball around for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
kill any and all hype.
Because the only way they were going to score was going to be a set piece.
And but
yeah,
Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, a couple things we do need to talk on. I think before we get onto the positives, which, like you say, is Fabio Vieira, I think let's quickly talk about Trossard. Wasn't great, but we won't talk about that too much. I think Eddie should have started.
No, look, in hindsight, it's easy to say Eddie should have started. I understand why he started Trossard. Eddie had featured in the first 3 games. Trossard had got 0 minutes. Trossard had a better preseason than Eddie. Everybody coming into the season thought Trossard was going to be the guy and that Eddie should even be sold. I understand why he started.
Not us, though.
Not us, yeah. I understand why he started Trossard in the sense that, like, you've got to keep everybody happy. You've got to give everybody minutes. We're going to be playing twice a week soon. Trossard's going to be a big part of that. Get him going now, get him feeling confident, all of this kind of stuff. He just had a stinker. Trossard was just poor, and he had a poor game. And that's on him. But I also think, he just had a poor game, and there's not much to it.
Like, we don't need to. Trossard's been great since he come to Arsenal. Great signing, so we're not going to talk too much on that. Quickly, we'll touch on Havertz. All I want to say on Havertz is, yes, okay, he played poorly. He had a bad game, right? Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to argue that, but I don't like this thing of
he's the reason
the fan base has got to pick someone to scapegoat.
Yeah.
Like, I get he's come from Chelsea. He's come for a price tag.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get less time than someone else who's come in.
Yeah.
But Havertz is not the reason we conceded those 2 goals. He's not the reason we dropped points in that game. It's not on him. Yet he's being the one blamed for it.
Do you know what
People are already questioning why Arteta signed him, and it's only been 3 games.
But you know what I think about all of this? And this is just in the media stuff. I think Chelsea fans have put so much, like, he's terrible, he's an awful footballer, I can't believe we got 65 million for him, all of this kind of stuff that just as a football fan, as a football rival, you want something to throw back in their face.
Yeah.
And because it hasn't happened yet, guys are like, oh yeah,
but it's only been 3 games.
Maybe he is terrible. Maybe he is not worth 65
People
million.
Arsenal fans are turning on. They have to ask Mikel about it.
Yeah.
In his press conference.
I do feel for Hazard, for Havertz, in that sense that, like, you're right. He's going to be scapegoated for stuff that isn't his fault. He had a poor game, but he wasn't the reason we drew 2-2.
Yeah. And it's cool to call out and say, yeah, he's played poorly.
Yeah.
But it's a similar sort of thing. Like, I've seen, and it's not just Arsenal fans, right? Liverpool fans did it with Trent last year. They just scapegoated him, even though Trent was maybe not having a great season. He wasn't the only one. Van Dijk was poor. Matip was poor. Konate was poor. Robertson, they were all poor. But Arsenal fans have done it. They've done it with Iwobi before.
Yeah.
Where they've done it with Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
Infamously. And then obviously Xhaka's redemption, everyone comes back. Like, it just...
How did you find it seeing people say, I miss Granit Xhaka? They're his biggest haters. Saying, I can't lie, I miss him. Can't lie,
Coming out the stadium, the amount of people, obviously people I don't know, but just people who were there at the game, saying, oh, that's the game, you need Granit Xhaka.
That's crazy.
Like, I know what you were saying about him. Yeah, don't try and, like, I've been on that Granit Xhaka train defending him in the pits, in the group chat.
I don't even think
5-on-1.
I don't even think Granit Xhaka changes that game for us.
The only way Granit Xhaka changes that game is he provides a bit more
steel.
Yeah. Maybe when they go down to 10 men,
he just controls it.
Yeah. Maybe it just becomes a bit more.
But by that time, Havertz is already off. No.
Yeah. But I think, just the first, and we said this obviously on our unreleased episode.
Behind the scenes,
the first 2 games, Havertz actually done all right.
Yeah.
Like, nothing special, nothing bad. Just like, he works hard. Good. He's put a shift in. He played the full 90 at Crystal Palace when we went down to 10 men.
Yeah.
Was running the channels even after we went down to 10. Like, and then, he's played poorly in this game, but we can't just, like, hate on every time
dig into him.
I think he plays a bad pass or something.
Somebody was asking me about, like, do you think Arsenal fans or Arsenal as a club, including the fans, are like too emotional right now? Like we're running on some sort of emotional edge, where it's like every win is the best win we've ever had. Great way to get 3 points. When every loss and drop points is like it's over.
Yeah.
Crisis.
Well, we spoke about this a bit, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans are getting emotional, but I think there's nothing new there. I think like they've been doing that for God knows how long, right?
Base.
Yeah. Like too high when we're high and too low when it's low.
Yeah.
We'll move on from Havertz.
Yeah. I was gonna say back to the Arsenal game.
We'll talk about the substitutions, the game changes.
Fabio Vieira.
Yeah. We'll talk on him first.
It's his time. We said this last year. We weren't putting last year, but we said this last year in terms of he's a GA man and he's the closest thing we have to Bruno, in the sense that Man
United fans gonna get annoyed by that.
Whatever you think of his performance, he comes on.
His output,
exactly. Yeah. He comes on and he either gets the assist or he puts the ball in the box.
He looks a lot
more confident,
better in terms of like physically.
Yeah. I agree.
His touch even looks more secure.
He looks better physically. He looks more like he knows what he's doing, and in the sense that he knows the same tricks that were working for me in Portugal might not work anymore.
Yeah,
or this trick will work as opposed to this trick.
Because aside from winning the penalty, playing a De Bruyne-esque pass for Eddie's goal, his all-round game was good. He was doing turns, linking the play.
Yeah, a genuine positive presence.
Yeah, he had a major impact on the game.
When you got
major impact.
It was like it almost felt, and not to, I know we don't dig on Havertz, but not to dig on Havertz too much, but it almost felt like, oh, we actually have a player in this position now.
Yeah,
like whereas before, it just felt to kind of break down, and
that's the same for. We'll talk about Eddie in a bit as well, and how he came on, and the difference between him and Trossard was massive as well. Yeah. But we'll give Fabio Vieira his flowers.
My only thing about Fabio Vieira is I don't think he will ever be a regular starter. I don't think he'll ever be a regular starter. And so he has to become really good at those cameos.
I think he could be. I think he could become.
Because I don't think he'll ever be a regular starter. I don't think he had as much as...
It's tough to say that when the kid's like 22.
Yeah, but like that's the thing, is like the ambition of the team versus what we need in the team. Like if Fabio Vieira is going to get in, he's going to get in the 8. Yeah. And does he have the physical profile to play the 8? For 90 minutes, will he do the defensive job needed to play the 8? Will he track his man? Will he do all of this additional stuff? When the game is 1-1 with 20 minutes to go, and there's like we only need one thing, which is a goal. Yeah, bring him on.
Yeah.
But like, is he like, for example, guys are calling him to start for the United game.
No.
But if Bruno runs off the back of him, if Casemiro runs off the back of him,
I agree with that. But my only thing is that I think, because of how young he is, because of how long he might probably be at Arsenal, I think he can get better. Like, bro, and this is the comparison that was kind of made when Vieira signed between him and Bernardo Silva. Obviously, Bernardo Silva's levels above. We're not even making that comparison before people try and get onto us. Yeah, but that was the comparison made when Bernardo Silva came to Man City from Monaco. Nobody thought he could play in a double pivot as like a 6.
No, I agree, but that's the thing, is I also don't think that he will be at Arsenal that long.
Okay,
because I think that if I'm resigned to the fact that I think he's going to be doing cameos, he's going to turn 25 and be like, I want to start playing football. Yeah.
Arteta's a big fan of him, though.
I want to start playing football somewhere.
Like Arteta said that before.
And then I think that's the point where it comes into like, hey, look, he's Portuguese. He came for 25 mil. He'll probably leave for 30, 35 mil. Game time to a Villarreal or, some other club somewhere. I think, and I'm not here to like, put a damper on his big day, because this was his coming out party to Arsenal fans. That are like, oh, this is what I can do, this is what I can provide, this is what I can bring to the table, and I'm here for it many more days like it.
It's just a shame we didn't win the game. Should we talk on Fulham first quickly, and then do the preview, just to wrap up this game? I think Fulham, fair play to them.
Paulinho,
they came,
baller.
Yep. They worked hard. They were resilient. They stayed in the game even when they went down to 10 men. Shout out Marco Silva as well. I've always rated Marco Silva. I think he's a tidy manager. Didn't really work out from it Everton, but sets up the team well. And yeah, João Palhinha. This was his first game back.
I thought Calvin Bassey did well as well. I know he got sent off.
Yeah,
I thought he played a good game. He did all of the tactics and stuff to like be a Premier League defender. The rules are now very harsh.
Yeah. Because he got booked for time wasting.
Exactly, he got booked for time wasting, and then the other foul he had to make.
Yeah. Eddie, well, good play from Eddie. But yeah, when I was walking up to the stadium, obviously saw the Arsenal team sheet. Still no Gabriel. A bit annoyed. Then looked at the Fulham team sheet. Palhinha's back because he broke his arm in pre-season, innit?
Yeah.
So this was his first game back. I see Palhinha on the team sheet, and I'm thinking, long day.
Yeah, he's a serious baller.
The amount of tackles he makes. I mean, the finish for the goal is just
great. I think he win the corner? Isn't he the one who's breaking down that wing?
Yeah,
and Zinchenko,
he might do. Yeah.
You know, and Zinchenko fluffs his lands, whatever.
Yeah.
I just think Fulham will be all right.
Yeah, they should be fine. And after they lost 3-0 to Brentford at home last week.
Yeah. Willian he's not even back yet.
Obviously, they needed to come and put a performance in. I mean, Adama at the end. At
the death could have done it for them. And he'll be
Saliba had given away a penalty there.
I mean, any contact.
Yeah, and it's done. And we know Ramsdale's probably not going to save it.
And the ref, the ref also doesn't need a second
chance. He's waiting. He's already given Arsenal a pen. The
ref doesn't need a second chance to make that decision.
But yeah, João Palhinha, I think the whole team they worked hard, which obviously you need to do when you come away to a big team. And fair play, they got the result after getting down to 10 men. Can't really say too much on that.
Last thing on the Arsenal game, we didn't really give Eddie his flowers because he's been on his job.
Yeah,
at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
he's
shout out Eddie.
He's gone from strength to strength. We all know his limitations. We all know he's not the lead in the line striker. He's going to get you 25 plus. But all we can ask from Eddie is that he improves his game, which he has been doing, and that he puts his chances away, which he also, has been doing a bit better. For the most part, been doing better. But if he does put his chances away, he provides a goal contribution to the game.
And I personally think Eddie can be a 20-goal a season striker.
I am no Eddie hater. I've actually always been in his corner. If Eddie starts, he scores goals.
Even from the season we missed out on Champions League, when he came in for Lacazette towards the last,
and he scored against Chelsea.
I saw something there that was like, okay, he's a lot better than what we had thought.
What I see about Eddie that I like is
he can link the play,
yes,
hold off defenders. He can run in behind. Like in that Fulham game, straight away when he comes on from Trossard, Diop and Bassey, like you can just see,
have a different problem.
They have problems now.
What I was gonna say, what I like about Eddie now is he so clearly wants it. Clearly he will do the shameless run in the channels.
His pressing's got better.
He'll chase down the ball that many other guys would give up on, and then he's like when Odegaard gets on the ball and that kind of stuff, he's turning face. He wants the ball to feet,
and he takes his goal so well.
Yeah,
coming across his body, opens it up,
and to be fair, we just know he's gonna make that run. Like that's the good thing about Eddie is that he's been around everybody now long enough where Vieira picks up the ball and knows Eddie's in there trying to make a run across his man.
Yeah,
and I just got to hit an area, and more often than not, he'll try and find it, finish it,
and then he scores.
And he will probably do that in
next podcast on Sunday after the Arsenal Man United game. But we'll move on. I think this one I'm sorry to Brentford and Palace fans, but this was one boring game. Yeah. So we're not going to talk about this too much. But Kevin Schade,
great goal.
Great goal. That's one of the only things we could talk
about. If he turns out to be a decent player, then they'll hit 80 million for Ivan Toney and not miss a beat, but not fear relegation the same way.
They'll be all right still.
Yeah, the same way other teams would fear relegation if they lost their man.
Yeah. Goes past a couple players, cuts inside, buries it. Good goal from him.
They should have kept a clean sheet though.
Yeah, the Palace equaliser, the Anderson goal. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Like Flecken's just and then the centre backs. But I mean, good point for Palace away at Brentford. Elise to come back. That team should do pretty well.
The Brazilian guy to come in as well.
Yeah.
Roy, like whatever you say about him, he knows how to keep a team between 12 and 10.
Yeah.
In the Barclays Premier League.
They'll be all right. Hopefully, hopefully both you guys have a more interesting fixture this weekend. And we'll talk about you guys for a bit longer. But yeah, that 1-1. Then maybe even more boring Everton Wolves.
Yeah, I think the only damning thing is that Everton lost. Like, I think the game was probably
so many chances.
Yeah, fair.
So many chances.
The game was fair and even in the sense that either team could have won it and lost it, but for Everton to be the team to lose it at home to Wolves,
they honestly had so many chances. Danjuma hit the post. Doucouré had a couple. I saw a stat that from the first 3 games, Everton have had 4.95 expected goals.
Yeah,
and they haven't scored yet.
Yeah. I mean,
they scored 0.
And the funny thing is, Everton are still not in trouble. Because, they're in trouble in the sense that it's just going to be another. It's going to be another terrible season. It's just going to be another
because they just can't fucking
38
score.
38 games, 20 losses, 10 draws, 3 wins.
They'll stay up with like 3 games to go.
Whatever it is, but it's just it's just worrying in the sense that Everton on paper have a decent team. They have a Crystal Palace team that should be finishing 12th to 10th. You've got Onana, you've got well, in the terms of look,
because their defense. I don't know about their defense.
Yeah, Michael Keane is not, but is their defense even better than
It's not as good as Palace's defense.
It's not good as Palace's defense, but is it better than Tottenham's defense? Like, Tottenham have a very short, like Dyer and Davis. Sorry.
Well, no, it's Van der Ven and Romero now.
Yeah.
Van der Ven looks decent.
Van der Ven is yeah. No, fair enough.
Still wait to be
so
tested.
who does Michael Keane partner with?
Tarkowski, who's decent, Premier League level.
Yeah.
He's like a classic kind of, especially in a Sean Dyche system.
I think Tarkowski, to be fair, is only as good as the system around him.
Yeah.
Like, if you have,
in a low block, if you want Tarkowski playing on the halfway line, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, Everton definitely should have won that game. On Wolves, Gary O'Neill's first 3 points, bit of a snatch and grab.
He deserved it after the United game.
Yeah. And even last week at Brighton, I know they end up losing by quite a bit, but they had some chances.
Yeah.
So Wolves have put up 3 points. Move on from that. Man United, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Now, I was at Arsenal at half time.
I watched this game.
I was just hearing whispers. Forest are 2-0 up.
You wouldn't believe,
Forest are 2-0 up.
You wouldn't believe the first 4 minutes of that match. I mean, I told you.
Awoniyi's made it 7-7.
When Awoniyi broke through that Rashford challenge,
I didn't realize he was that fast
in midfield. The PMP is off the charts.
Yeah,
the PMP is.
That's Rashford, man.
Is off the charts. He's a soldier of God when he's like through on goal.
Yeah.
Like it's above him at this point. The finish wasn't even that good.
He sits down on Onana.
He sits him down. He does fake and dummy him, but he also takes.
He almost messes
it
up. Yeah,
it comes up always like Rashford almost kicks it off.
Honestly, if Rashford tries a bit harder,
that's the thing. If
slides
Rashford
in,
wasn't gassed trying to run half the football pitch
catching Awoniyi.
Yeah, he makes a better challenge.
Yeah,
but I've seen enough from Nottingham Forest to think
they'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
You'll score goals. You've got Brendan Johnson. You've got Gibbs White. You've got Elanga who started on the bench and stuff. You'll score goals. You'll be all right.
Chris Wood even.
I do kind of believe that you should see out a Premier League game if you go 2-0 up, but they lost. They went down to 10 men. And it was tough because United got a goal back before halftime.
Yeah.
And it was just like the crowd was just going to be on them, and the pressure on United as well. But from a Nottingham Forest perspective, you'd be happy with the performance and not the result.
Yeah.
Or the first half performance at least, and not the result.
Yeah, I think from the Forest point of view, obviously they've now been away to Arsenal and away to Old Trafford and played well in both those games, to be honest. Like Arsenal, obviously, we kind of dominated, but they stuck in the game. They got their goal. Man United, obviously, went 2-0 up. They were unlucky with the red card, I thought.
Yeah.
We'll obviously talk about Man United a bit as well. But yeah, their next game, Chelsea away.
Forest.
Yeah, it's not an easy game for Chelsea.
It's
like
not.
Any Chelsea fans thinking that'll be cushy. Like Forest are tough. Awoniyi against Dizazi.
Yeah.
Like I can see Dizazi giving a pen away.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Man United, I think Bruno's probably the guy we need to talk about here. I mean, he from what I saw, he was everywhere on the pitch. He was like kind of almost putting in a captain's performance, creating goals. We had the conversation off air about him being an output machine.
Yeah.
I think he scores the pen and gets an assist for Casemiro
I think
as
Bruno
well.
was Bruno in this game. He probably played a little bit better than usual. Not usual, but like then our guys on Twitter always get onto him for being. He wasn't dog.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was alright. And then he has the end product. He always has the end product.
Yeah.
Regardless of his performance, he has the end product.
Buried his penalty.
Buried his pen. Got the ball across for Casemiro. But I just don't, United haven't put together a 90-minute display that is like, oh, this
team can do something.
This is Ten Hag's. This is Ten Hag's, tricky Reds or
This is what Ten Hag's like. People always say that put the like you want to see a way of playing, an identity, something that you've seen with Postecoglou, like where we haven't really seen that with Ten Hag yet.
I just don't think. It's just like, somebody I was reading about it. It's just a commercial club, and I don't know. You always think that United have a plan and have a strategy, but do they? Do they have a plan?
I've never really thought.
Do they have a strategy?
Strategy?
You would think a club the magnitude of United have a plan, have a strategy.
They spent 70 million chasing Jadon Sancho for 2 years because they needed a right winger. Ten Hag comes in and spends 100 on Anthony.
I just don't know if they have like Maguire should have gone to West Ham.
But apparently that's like he wants a certain amount of compensation from Man United, isn't it?
Oh,
because he's still got 3 years left on his deal.
He wanted to be paid out to then go.
Exactly, yeah. And whatever West Ham on. I actually heard Antonio say this on his podcast with Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
he was like, Maguire's got 3 years left, and obviously, from Antonio's mouth, West Ham aren't going to pay the money Man United are paying him.
Yeah, as they shouldn't.
So
Maguire shouldn't come to West Ham demanding to get.
Yeah, he wants obviously that money that he's on for those 3 years, and I think I think in total it might be 10 mil. I think Man United said we'll give you 5, and Maguire was like, "Nah, you know what? I'll just see it out."
3 years of not being the managers for. I guess he assumes 10.
But then Callum Wilson, and check out this podcast. Obviously, I reckon you guys probably have already, but they talk quite like it's very unadulterated. Callum Wilson was just like, if he's Harry Maguire, he reckons stick it out at Man United because at this rate, you might
see a new manager.
Exactly, you might stick it out longer than Ten Hag.
Yeah,
and the new guy can come in and be like, "Yeah, you're my guy."
Back to English football.
There you go.
No, that is fair. But just on Ten Hag, just on United, like I was saying this as well earlier today. Just like before the season began, everybody was so like, yeah, United are going to improve. They're going to get better. They're 1 or 2 signings away from title challenges. They're this, they're that. And now we're 3 games into the season, and like, I just feel like United fans are still trying to push that agenda whilst not believing it themselves anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where you'll finish this season, to be honest with you, but I do know that you're not a threat to the big boys up top. You're not a threat to the big boys up top, and
their performances have shown that.
Exactly. You was lucky.
However, even though obviously they've played poorly, if they do go to the Emirates and win,
it changes everything.
It's a different conversation.
Yeah, this I don't think you can underestimate how big this fixture is for both clubs, sets of fans, and everything going into the rest of the season. Just in the sense that it doesn't really define where you'll finish or what will happen to you, but it will 100% define the narrative.
Yeah.
Of how people will view you as a team. Because if Arsenal lose, those same old Arsenal weak, soft, on their own turf, got turned over.
Yeah.
And if United lose and get beaten convincingly, it's just going to be the what did we do in the summer?
Yeah. Have we got better?
Yeah, Glazer's out.
Is Ten Hag better than Oli?
Yeah,
the whole discourse. Yeah. But yeah, Man United picked up 3 points. So yeah, we'll move on to the Saturday night football game, Brighton West Ham.
Yeah, upset.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about Brighton first. I think no clean sheets for Brighton yet. First 3 games, they've conceded a lot of chances. they dominated the game. I think West Ham had like 18% possession or something, made like 80 passes in the whole game.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I wouldn't even describe it as a smash and grab. It just kind of looked like West Ham were a more experienced
team.
Premier League
I agree.
team.
I agree. I didn't want to go as far as to say that West Ham looked like the better team, but they looked good for the 3 points. For a team with only 18% possession, like when they were in goal, it was great chances. And the thing about Brighton and the clean sheets is I don't really think that's De Zerbi's game. I do think that he's always going to focus on free flow and attacking football, as opposed to resolute, shut them out, don't let anybody in type of football. And West Ham scored 3 goals or whatever the hell it was, but when Brighton got their one back, with 10, 12 minutes to go, I didn't think they were going to win the game, but I thought
they had chances.
I was like, they could get another 2.
Evan Ferguson had a good chance.
Yeah.
Shout out Pascal Gross, because that was a very good goal.
On West Ham, West Ham are my surprise team so far of the season, just in terms of like...
Yeah, they've shocked me as well, to be fair.
I didn't think they'd be relegated or anything like that, but they are... they've got 7 points or however many they have.
That's their first ever win over Brighton.
Yeah.
I had a West Ham fan message saying the curse is broken.
West Ham look good. Kudus is going to come into that team.
Ward-Prowse scores again.
He's coming into my team.
I mean, obviously on the unreleased episode, we spoke about how good Antonio's goal was against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Was this one even better?
I think this one might be more my favorite for the move. You
said your mate called it a big man move.
It is a big man. It's like a basketball term. It is a big man move in the low post, where you have to have like a go-to. Somebody throws you the ball,
pick and roll,
literally.
Turn,
you have to have something in your locker to distinguish yourself from just a bomb on the streets. 7 foot, and
even if it's just one move.
And Antonio completely sells them.
And buries it.
And what I like about that goal so much is, at this level, at the Premier League level, a yard should be enough.
And if you're good enough.
Exactly.
If you're good enough,
And Antonio showed that all I actually do need is a yard.
And bottom bins. Side netting. Great finish from Antonio. He ran even for Ward-Prowse's goal, he runs the channel. Wins it off Webster, cuts it to Ward-Prowse. Paquetá was
good.
Form again.
Was good. Even Ben Rama as a sub, he didn't start the game. I don't know I can't remember who he came on for.
Souček, I think.
But he delivery for Bowen's goal. I mean, Bowen's touch.
We got to talk about
Bowen's touch and finish.
I blinked and thought I was watching Salah.
The
way he brought that down, then kind of just slots it past the keeper.
West Ham will do well playing that
goal.
West Ham will play well doing that game, because every team coming up against West Ham will say, I want 70% possession. And West Ham are like, oh yeah, fine.
Take it.
Have 70% possession. We're going to have a low block with runners, winning runners, and quality technicians on the ball.
Exactly, because that was the thing. Brighton dominated, but West Ham worked their fucking socks off. They worked so hard. They were everywhere. Edson Alvarez looks tidy. They've just brought in Kudus.
That's what I'm saying. West Ham are going to be
as a midfield rebuild. Obviously, you sold Declan Rice. You bring in Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, and Kudus. I mean, that's good business.
It's good. It's great business, man.
You could arguably, obviously, we'll see. Transfer window is still open. Business can still be done. We might talk about this on Sunday when it's closed, but you could arguably say West Ham have won the transfer window.
In terms of replacing Declan Rice and not even being in danger, and not doing anything stupid like spending 70 million.
Supposedly getting better.
And not doing anything stupid like spending 70 million on one player and putting all the pressure on him to be the person to replace Declan Rice. West Ham are in a good position. Like, every team, to be fair, should be worried about injuries. I wonder what happens to Antonio if he ever does get injured.
Because Danny Ings injury prone as well. I think they need a striker. I don't know if they'll go and sign one.
I don't know if they'll go at the time. I think Moyes would trust Ings and would say that, like, this is the job to do, but I don't think...
I mean, Moyes has even hinted at playing Bowen there.
Well, with Kudus, you could play Kudus out wide and play Bowen in there, and that could work. That could make a lot of sense.
You could have Paquetá, Ward-Prowse, and Alvarez. I think the balance in that midfield
is good,
Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, and Paquetá. I think the balance in that is... perfect.
I would agree, and they would have a little bit of depth now if you're having Ben Rama and stuff.
Souček.
For
nows.
Pablo. So West Ham are a shock package in the sense that like count them out at your own peril.
Mhm.
If you think they're bombs,
Going to West Ham going to be a very tough fixture.
yeah, you're not going to enjoy it too much. Brighton will be shocked by this defeat, but at the same time, it's like, where do we think Brighton will have to, if we think Brighton are going to finish 7th or 6th or even, like, they're going to have those defeats in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have them in our top 4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have them,
definitely.
So I think Brighton are probably I think they've scored the most goals of any team.
Yeah, with the amount of chances Brighton create in that game, it's another one where on another day.
Didn't they have an injury as well? I feel like
Enciso's
injured.
Yeah. Knee injury.
Yeah. And
they just signed their Caicedo replacement.
They have
from Lille.
I think Brighton. Look, shock. Yes, defeat for Brighton because they were at home, but I can't rip into them too much. I think they will go and probably
they will have those kind of results.
Exactly,
they'll have those kind of results.
And they had that last year under De Zerbi as well. They got smacked up by Everton 5-0, and there was another game towards the end of the season that was just like, I can't believe Brighton lost this game.
Yeah,
but
I think I know you say De Zerbi, the free flowing football, and that's what he wants to do and stuff. But if they're gonna want to even get European places again, I think defensively they're gonna need to be a bit more
pick it up a bit.
Solid. Yeah,
and that's the problem is, has he spent money on defenders?
Estupiñán, like again
Great.
on the unreleased episode, we were raving about him last week.
Yeah.
Going forward,
great attacker fullback,
quality. But on Bowen's goal, I saw on Match of the Day, Bowen's running, Estupiñán's with him, and just loses him, and just lets him go. Obviously, it's a great touch from Bowen and a great finish. But I think, defensively, I think they might need to just kind of shore up a bit.
But they should, and I think that can happen. The thing is, if they ask so much of Estupiñán going forward,
I
think
because he probably should have had two assists.
Yeah, I think he will always, after 50, 60 minutes, like let you run off him or switch off.
It's a trade-off, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He thinks you're not going to do anything when you get the ball. I'm going to get the assist. I'm going to drill it across and find whoever in the box. I don't think De Zerbi will be too worried, but I do think that another centre back would not hurt them at all.
What about West Ham? Where do you reckon they'll be?
I think West Ham are going to be rivaling the Roy Hodgsons for the.
But you don't think they can fight for Europe
because they're in Europe now?
Yeah,
I don't think they can.
That
fight
Thursday
for Europe.
Sunday schedule.
Yeah. Because they're in Europe now, it's going to be tough, and in particular that
I don't know, man. That West Ham team's looking dangerous.
Yeah, once a week they look dangerous, but once you start playing twice a week, and Bowen can't do 2 90-minute matches, and then you start
Kudos.
but then that's the thing is like,
their depth is decent.
Their depth is all right for a Premier League team. I don't know if their depth is all right for a European Premier League team.
Yeah. I think the 2 fixtures a week thing, it could. Yeah, obviously we saw what happened to them last season.
Yeah, exactly. Just because of all the guys that we say are nice and we like, think about them playing 90 minutes twice a week.
Yeah.
And then coming to first, like to play you on the weekend.
Yeah, Zuma will get at least like 2-3 injuries. He can't play. Yeah. But to be honest, I think West Ham could be up there. I think come the end of the season, I think they could be fighting for a European spot.
I would be very shocked. I think they'll finish. I think they'll be fighting for a top half finish.
I think the balance of their team is almost better.
It looks good
than it was last year.
It is.
With Declan Rice.
It is. I would agree. It is. But that it still doesn't just deter from me from like what I think Moyes will have to cope with in. Will they push on?
I mean, they've got 7 from 9.
Yeah. No,
beat Chelsea, beat Brighton away.
They're not a team I want to play. They're not a team I want to play right now.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They go to Luton on Friday, which will be interesting. Luton's first home game. But move on to Vincent Kompany and Burnley, who lost 3-1 to Aston Villa. We'll talk a bit on Burnley first. From my notes here, I watched that game. I streamed that game instead of watching because I thought Man City would just destroy Shef U. So I thought that one might be a bit more interesting. But when you just look at that Burnley team, they look physically so small. Yeah. They look so diminutive.
Yeah.
Like they can just get bullied which is such a stark contrast from Sean Dyche's Burnley team.
Yeah.
I think Burnley have only played 2 games because obviously they didn't play last week. But I think if Company persists with this way of playing,
It's not gonna work.
I just think they
I
can struggle.
I don't even think people like Company, and well, look, you never know what to say about managers. I don't think he should live and die by this. Like, I don't think he needs to be the manager to live and die by this. Like, you actually know the Barclays Premier League. You were here for 10 years. Like, I know you're one of Pep's disciples. I know he obviously taught you the Cruyff style of football.
Yeah.
But you also know what it takes to live and survive in this league.
But can Vincent Company coach that style?
Which one?
Like a no nonsense, go long more, that style of football. And B, can the players in that Burnley team like operate in that style?
But that's the thing. On paper, it seems like an easier style to learn, and for somebody like Vincent Kompany to coach. He had that in him. He had the dog. He had that aggression. He used to deal with long balls all day, every day. And he probably had to spend a lot of time learning this Tikki Takhar stuff, how to press, how to play out from the back.
When you look at that Burnley team, other than Sander Berger, who we saw last time Shef U were in the Prem, do you recognize any of those players?
No. The subs are coming on to change the game.
Bro, the starting 11, Al Dakil, Lyle Foster, who scored a good goal, but I have no idea. Kelly Osho, Cullen, like, I don't know. I've never heard of these guys before.
I also can't believe that we've been through, we're like 98% through a transfer window. And this is what
their team looks like. Yeah.
Like, Sam, you could have had Sambi for
honestly, I don't know. Sambi Lokonga, whatever we think of him, he would probably do all right at Burnley.
Yeah. Arsenal you would have had him for 15 mil, 20 mil.
Yeah.
You know.
I think 15. I think Arsenal would let him go for
15. Exactly. And this was meant to be your...
And that's making a loss on him.
And this would have been your Yaya Toure replacement, all of this kind of stuff. But he would have at least been some guile, some agility, some legs, some pace, some power in midfield. That would add a little bit of something.
Like technical composure.
Something. I think you're asking a lot of players that are making their debuts at this level to also play possession-based, anti-press football.
And the thing, on that Friday night on the opening day against Man City, they looked all right. And again, it's only been 2 games. Like we've said for most of the other teams, it's early doors. If they go and beat Tottenham this weekend, we're having a whole new conversation on Sunday's episode, right? We're talking about Vincent Kompany stuck to his principles. He's going to beat Tottenham, going to beat Postecoglou.
I think he should stick to his principles for now.
Because it's too early to change. It's too early.
He's playing that football coming up, but I think when you start nearing December and you have a win or only 2 wins on the board or whatever it is, just nip it in the bud. Start to play a different style. Realize what you have, and put a team. That's 90% of management, is realizing what you have and putting a team around what you have to succeed. And I think Vincent has to also, for himself, show some flexibility to get future jobs at this level. I don't know. There is there's something intangible about management where a Spanish manager can come in and live and die by a certain way of managing, and guys will just be like, yeah, that's just who he is. Whereas
that's just how Frank de Boer.
Exactly.
When Frank de Boer came in, obviously we know he's Dutch, but when he came in, lost the first 7 games or whatever, worst ever. Him and Frank Lampard in Frank Lampard's second spell at Chelsea last year. But nobody was telling Frank de Boer he's got to go no nonsense, kick it long.
Exactly. But they'll throw that at Vinny. Because he's been because he's been there for 10 years. Or plus, and he knows the league in X, Y, and Z. But
I don't think personally, Vincent Kompany is going to do it. He's going to change. But I think if he does, we won't see it till January, earliest. I think he's going to go with this as long as he can.
Godspeed to him, man.
Because if in the first game against Man City, he's gone high press, play out from the back, play through midfield, like that's what he's going to want his team to do.
Yeah.
But
Aston Villa, on the come up,
Aston Villa
doing well
after a poor performance against Newcastle.
Yeah.
On the
wins.
opening weekend,
and high scoring games as well.
Yeah, 4-0 against Everton, another 3 goals. Matty Cash brace.
I think Aston Villa will be good. I think they will be what we all thought they were going to be in terms of a team challenging for a top 7, top 8 position.
I saw like a Premier League table since Unai Emery's come in, and I think he was 3rd in that table.
You forget that they were 17th when he got the job, like 17th, and he's done bits to get them up the table, and I think that they will continue to grow. I like DRB. I'm just short of loving him yet.
Scored again.
DRB looks good. I like the system he has with Leon Bailey and DRB as like an inside forward, Bailey as a wide player.
It's a 4-4-2 with like DRB as a second striker, isn't it? Yeah, behind Watkins.
Because Watkins, again, shameless runner, PMP energy,
got another assist,
does what he needs to do. And I'm also liking the revitalization of John McGinn.
Yeah. Speak on it,
John Boy.
Yeah,
he's in there doing his. John McGinn is one of those players where it's like he's a little bit good at everything.
He's a manager's dream,
and he's going to give you 100%. He's going to give you 110%. He'll be vocal. He'll give us
go into the challenge.
Exactly. He'll be what the team needs on match day.
Yeah. And technically, like in possession, he's all right. Like he can play a bit,
but he's also getting. I think Emery's getting more out of him in terms of like goals and assists. And you don't need hella goals and assists from John McGinn, but what you do need is when he's on the ball to play. Like just in this last game, he was playing certain balls through the lines for people to run onto.
Yeah.
Taking it down, setting somebody free.
Yeah.
Instead of just like keeping it simple all the time. And it's a dangerous game when a left-footed midfielder next to Douglas Luiz who can do that, starts spraying passes, getting people involved. Because McGinn is not a guy you game plan for. I'm not saying that clubs need to game plan for him. I'm just saying that when he turns up, like he's done for the past 2 weeks,
he's impacting the game.
Exactly. Yeah. When he's done for the last 2 weeks, he's a wild card that you have to acknowledge.
Definitely.
So shout out Emery, shout out Villa. I expect a good season from you guys. I'm sort of quietly
big
watching.
Shout out to Emery because I want him to do well.
I
think obviously when he came to Arsenal, I think anyone who was replacing Wenger at that time, it would have been tough to succeed.
Tough.
And in Emery's first season, I mean, we played some good football, missed out on top 4 by a point. Lost in the Europa League final. Like he had a decent first season. Obviously, after that, it went downhill. But I'm a fan of Emery, and I hope he does well.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Shef U, Man City. I mean, Shef U. Obviously, I didn't watch that game. I saw the highlights on Match of the Day. Shef U have done well to stay in the game there.
They've done well to stay in the game.
Keep it at 1-0.
I watched the second half
and then equalise.
From the equaliser onwards, I couldn't be more unhappy with the team.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't be more upset to the Premier League team. Yes, I'm an Arsenal fan. Yes, I want City to drop points, all the above. But when you equalise in the 85th minute to make it 1-1 at home, you shouldn't leave the game with nothing.
Yeah.
Let alone give up the chances that Shef U gave up.
Yeah.
Let alone concede the goal that Shef U conceded.
Yeah, you can't concede in the way you did.
Like that left back alone. I can't. Like,
for those who don't know, we're talking about when he gets robbed on the touchline by Walker.
Like Shef U's left back. I've never been more exasperated at a player who doesn't play for my club. I can't believe he just like falls over like that. He doesn't even complete. He doesn't even want to foul. He just falls over. He's just done. Let's Walker go. Obviously, Walker squares it. Foden, Rodri, and then after that, he gets a chance to make it 2-2 to play the right ball or to get a shot on target. He just blazes it over the bar. So lazy, so casual. Like, I don't know. Shef U are in trouble, obviously.
Yeah.
But
They look better than Luton.
They look better than Luton.
Yeah.
But even then, in a game where it's like, we have no expectations of you, you overachieve.
But you throw it away.
But to still then drastically
you throw it
underachieve.
away.
Come on.
We'll talk on Man City, of course, doing what they do best, picking up 3 points.
I said this last week. I've never agreed with it up until recently, but like, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's just boring.
Like
everything about it. I don't know, like, and Arsenal kind of play like this, but there's just like,
it's robotic, innit?
There's just like the 80% possession.
It's too systematic.
The other team not getting a sniff or anything, or even when they do, just not having the self-confidence to believe that they can score or beat Manchester City. Just like every game feels like a formality.
I think that's a major problem. Is that the rest of the teams in the league
just don't feel like they can.
And you know what? I would even include Arsenal in this to some extent. Just do not believe, those players in the dressing room do not believe that they can go out there and beat Man City or compete with them.
It's the same thing with the Newcastle game last week. Like, Newcastle played well up until they ever got close to Man City's box, and then it just felt like they didn't believe they were going to score. And it's the same thing with Shef U. They did well to stay in the game. I give them all the credit in the world for that. But once they actually had the 1-1, as soon as they had the 1-1, it's almost as if they didn't believe they were going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
But we also have to speak on Rodri.
Yeah, following on from the Shef U mistake comes a Rodri left-footed half volley into the top bins in the stanchions. And I've seen City fans on Twitter say that Rodri should be in with the Ballon d'Or shout, and that he's arguably done more than what Modric did when Modric won it.
That is a stretch, but I will say that he should get. I don't know if he should definitely get more acclaim than he does, but he already gets a lot of acclaim.
Because I was thinking, I don't know if it's a stretch, man.
Nah, it's a stretch. Because Modric was always the underdog.
I mean, Rodri scored the winning goal in the Champions League final.
True.
Right? Won the treble. Was elite Premier League.
True.
Elite FA Cup.
True.
FA Cup final. He was there.
True.
Like, obviously, there's not been an international tournament. So, obviously, a lot of the Modric thing was Croatia got World Cup final. Madrid won the Champions League. But, I mean, the winning goal in the Champions League final.
No, but that's the thing is, as good as Rodri is, he will never be the star for anybody outside of like football aficionados and like football.
Nobody's gonna look at Rodri and think he's Man City's most important player.
Yeah, but he is in many respects.
Yeah.
He's so top level.
Yeah, because even
so top level.
Even if Haaland doesn't score 36 goals, someone else will score 25.
Yeah, something.
Right?
Alvarez,
but
whatever.
You take Rodri out of that team,
they leak goals. I can't tell you. And Rodri is so top level, and the fact that he's added goals and assists to his game is so frightening for everybody.
He's 27.
For everybody else in the league.
Rodri's 27.
He's
not even in his prime yet.
It's so scary. And I said this
fake, innit?
I said this from the Community Shield. Like, what is he on? He came. I kept just saying.
I was my message. I was like, Rodri though.
I in the group chat like, who is Rod? Like, what is Rodri on? Like, what is he? Like, even just like corners and stuff. He's now just getting his head on the end of things.
Yeah.
Like, whereas previously it would be Haaland, it'd be whoever. But now it's just like, it's Rodri getting the header back across. Oh, it was Rodri. Like, I can't speak highly enough.
He's doing what Gundo's done.
Yeah.
Now that Gundo's gone.
I can't speak highly enough of just what he's able to do so consistently in that. Like, every time he plays, he's a 7 out of 10 minimum. He stops 2 clear goal scoring attacks or, so clear threats on goal. And then we'll end the game with an assist or goal.
Adding the GA is big time for sure. But my thing with Rodri is he has every single type of pass
in his locker
you can think of in his locker.
Yeah, like, from any angle.
Yeah,
however the ball comes to him,
left or right foot.
Yeah,
he's got the clipping out to the wide man. He's got the fizz low pass into the striker. He's got the like breaking the lines. He knows when to recycle possession.
Yeah.
I like
In whatever you want, tackling, passing, engine, intelligence of the game, he's up there with everybody. He's in everybody's bracket.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
his trophy cabinet is
Alone.
ridiculous now.
Alone.
A treble winner.
It's a problem. I think he won a league with Atletico as well. So,
but yeah, we'll move on to what was probably the most exciting game of the weekend. Newcastle, Liverpool up at St James's Park. And what a crazy game.
This is football. This is football.
Yeah, this is Barclays.
This is Barclays.
The Barclays was Barclaysing during this game. Anthony Gordon had a great game before.
Great first half.
Had Trent on strings. The Newcastle midfield, just from the start, they were at it.
Dogs.
Physical. Get it. Endo looked a bit out of place. But we'll allow him. It's his debut. It's his first game.
And St James's Park isn't.
Yeah. Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno G. You don't want to see those guys. But obviously, Gordon capitalizes on the Trent mistake. They go 1-0 up. We'll talk about Trent. Should that have been a second yellow?
Trent should have been off. There's no doubt about it.
You reckon?
I just think if you're going to...
It's early, though. It's early in the game.
But you can't give me that. If you're going to send Tomiyasu off, you've got to send Trent off. I honestly think it was... Not if it was anybody else but Trent. If it was any other nationality of player, he goes. Like, he's off the pitch. Yeah. If it's Soufal from West Ham, he's done. Everybody's talking about...
I think what almost saves Trent is because they're so close. The instances are so close to each other, which I know shouldn't be right, because we saw Martinelli got sent off.
Yeah.
For like 2 offenses in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So I know that shouldn't matter, but I think because they were so close to each other, he'd just been booked. I think even if those offenses had been 10, 15 minutes apart, I think he gets the second yellow.
I just think I think he should get the second yellow, but I understand not giving it to him. I don't want to be like he should go just because Tomiyasu went. I don't think Tomiyasu should have gone.
Yeah, he shouldn't have gone.
And I don't think Trent should have gone for also, the sake of the game.
I think the only difference slightly on the Tomiyasu one is you can see a slight shirt pull, which is instantly yellow card.
But the thing about the Trent thing is that he knocks Gordon in the face.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
shoulder
above
face,
shoulder.
Shoulder face, but he only does it when he knows the ball is gone. Like when he puts his arm out.
It's cynical. It's so cynical.
When he puts his arm out across, the ball is already gone. And Gordon is already sort of like the Gareth Bale running off the pitch to get back onto the pitch to get onto the ball type of thing.
For sure.
But I understand keeping it 11 versus 11 because he wants to see a red card in the first 4 minutes of a match.
Yeah.
Let him live. As much as he shouldn't have lived.
Right?
Let him live.
For the entertainment of the game, whatever.
Yeah.
But Gordon then, the Trent mistake.
We spoke about Trent in midfield. And it's not even
the inverted fullback.
It's not even a midfield mistake from Trent.
It's just it's sloppy. Obviously, I think I said it on the chat that Trent lost his head when he made that second challenge because he easily could have gone for that.
At that time, it was a cauldron at St James's Park. The fans were on top.
It's gonna first 10 minutes.
Oh, I didn't say it. I only sort of linked you for the second half, but I said from the first 4 minutes, I was like, "There's going to be a red card in this game."
Yeah,
I know Trent had got a yellow by then
because it was feisty.
But I was like, I don't know who it's going to be for. But there's no way both teams have 11 men versus 11 men.
Yeah. But Anthony Gordon goes in, buries it well.
Tidy finish.
Yeah, takes it well. Had a good game all game.
He's had a good 3 games.
Yeah.
For somebody they spent 40 million on, who guys were like, is he worth that? Is he that?
Yeah.
Is he
forced his way out ever.
Keeping Harvey Barnes out of the team, and I'm a fan of Harvey Barnes.
Yeah. True. Then we come to the Van Dijk.
The Van Dijk thing. You have differing opinions on this.
We disagree on this, but to be fair, the more I've seen it, the more I can see the trip. I watched Match of the Day too.
Yeah.
And they slow it down and they bring the camera in, and you can see him trip Isak first. But I'm uncomfortable with it being a red card.
The reason I'm not uncomfortable with it being a red card is, one, if that isn't a red card, it's not anti-football, but it sets like football is always meant to be on like you give precedence to the striker, you give bias to the striker.
Benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt. That's the phrase I'm looking for. And I just feel like Van Dijk at every step of the way knows what he's doing. And
it's lazy.
And from the minute Gordon plays that ball and Isak slants his body in that certain position, Van Dijk knows he's done.
Yeah.
And he can't get ahead, so he has to get rid of him.
Van Dijk's got to adjust his body position and come round the other side of Isak, but he's almost lazy and just tries to go through him.
I think there's also a chance, but I agree, it's the laziness. I think there's a chance for Van Dijk to let Isak take the first touch, shuffle his feet, and just like try and force him as wide as you can. Like the goal is here, try and force him as wide as you can to make the angle as tough as it can possibly. I think that's the best thing. Make the angle as tough as it can possibly be for Isak to score and live with that. If he scores, he's just a great striker.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as you make the contact and as soon as you sort of clean him out, as they always say for Arsenal players, don't give the referee a decision to make. Don't give the referee a decision to make because there is no one else behind you.
And he's already let Trent off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He is through on goal. Emotions are running high. The ref has to make a decision. If the ref doesn't send him off, it's still the should he have been sent off? Should he have been sent off? Should he have been sent off? The fans get on the ref's back. Newcastle's back.
Yeah. He has come through him and won the ball.
He has,
but
he's gone through him.
So,
and going through him, he's denied him an opportunity at goal.
Yeah. So I can see both sides of it. I think if the ref gives Van Dijk a yellow there, I'm not really like thinking, he has to go.
I'm the same.
But yeah, following on from that, it was Newcastle domination. Alisson with some great saves. That one off the post.
He is the best. There used to be a long time I used to be like Alisson, Edison.
No, it's definitely Alisson.
But it's definitely Alisson. It is definitely Alisson.
And then Newcastle on top. Almiron, that great little mazy run.
Yeah. I'm happy to see Almiron isn't. I'm happy to see Almiron isn't a one-season wonder. I know he hasn't bagged yet this season.
Yeah. I think credit Eddie Howe there. Yeah. Because he's really kind of developed Almiron.
But he's a live wire.
Yeah, for sure. And then Darwizzy comes on the pitch. I think I'm a big Darwin Nunez fan. I like Darwin Nunez. I want him to do well.
I think that one thing I'll say is that I said this earlier in the podcast, like there's no way Premier League teams should be losing games from 2-0 or 1. Well, I guess 1-0 with a 10-man advantage feels like 2-0.
Yeah, at home.
I just don't think there's any way that Newcastle can come off this pitch with 0 points. Anyway. But having said all of that, and I gave him stick for the first finish, it is 2 great finishes.
The first goal.
It's 2 great finishes.
That finish is world class.
And he's a man under pressure.
Yeah.
For his place.
He takes that finish so early. He's just inside the box.
He has one thing in his mind.
Like Nick Pope can't set himself. And then it's gone in off the post. It's a great finish.
But even
proper striker's goal.
Newcastle should recoup, get together. We're at home. We have 10-man advantage.
Like worst case scenario, you come out with a point.
Yeah, and that still feels like a loss.
Yeah,
but to actually come away with nothing.
And then the next goal is a great pass from Salah.
It's a ridiculous pass. Yeah. Well, I don't want to overhype it, but just the timing and the weight of the
pass. Yeah, he's put it just. Nunez can just come onto it, take
and
a
also
touch.
Salah is a goal scorer who often wants to be the hero or feels as if he needs to be the hero. For him to just get that ball out of his feet and give it to Darwin and understand who is the guy right now.
Yeah.
It's a great leadership.
Understand where you are on the pitch.
Yeah. Understand where you are, the situation, the scenario, and what the team needs. It's a great just give him a chance.
Yeah.
Like, Salah's not even said, go ahead. Sort of bury this. He just said, there's a chance here.
Yeah.
You're
up against Dan Burn.
Exactly.
Like I'll put it in behind.
Yeah.
It's a very poor pass from Bruno G to give the ball away that Salah then ends up with it.
Yeah.
But again, it's
a ridiculous finish.
I said this to you, it was Cavani-esque.
Yeah. Like the peel off the last man.
Go through and then he's hit the side netting again. Pope's no chance.
Yeah.
The celebration, and then Liverpool obviously come away 2-1 winners. Big result for them. And I think I've got written here on my notes just how big of a moment do you think that might be for Darwin Nunez?
It'll be a big moment for Darwin Nunez in the sense that I think for the rest of the season, Klopp will trust him.
He's got to start next game.
He's got to start the next game. For the rest of the season, Klopp will trust him to be an impact person for them and knows that he can do it. He can have the end product. I can trust him to have 1 or 2 chances and to score those chances.
Yeah.
But I also just think my overall takeaway from the game was that like it wasn't a game Liverpool were really in, even at 11 versus 11 men.
Yeah.
And that a lot of the same.
Yeah, Newcastle looked a better team.
Yeah. A lot of the same problems Liverpool had last year they'll have this year in terms of they will concede goals, they will switch off, there will be a lapse of concentration, and it's never been previously it's never been good to get Liverpool into some sort of emotional game
at Anfield.
At Anfield in particular. But I do think now that the way I saw Trent, what happened to VVD,
I mean, they finished the game with Gomez and I don't even know who the other guy was.
It was Matip.
No, but then they brought on that young guy.
Oh, that young guy.
Yeah, I don't even know what his name was.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that now, maybe at home, you start to try and draw Liverpool into an emotional game. And you get the crowd involved. You get whatever it is, bodies behind the ball or people in front of the referee or, whatever it is for Liverpool to start to feel something. Because, Van Dijk very rarely makes those rash decisions. Trent.
I mean, Gary Neville said it. He was like, that back four has so much experience, but they play like schoolboys.
Yeah. And the yellow cards, or the yellow card that Trent got, Robertson can get.
Yeah.
The double yellow that Trent should have got, Robertson can get as well. So, like...
I mean, Gordon had him on strings.
Yeah. I mean, Gordon was... That first 45, 50 minutes...
he was just like playing with this food.
Gordon could go whichever way he wanted.
Yeah.
And Trent had nothing to do or say.
Especially post the yellow card.
Yeah. He had nothing to do with that. Gordon was cutting in a good 30, 40 yards from the goal line. And Trent was just showing him inside. Yeah. Just like, I'm going to have to pass you on to somebody else. Because, I think my overall takeaways from the game was Newcastle are a good team that you should be afraid of. And I don't think that will happen to them again this season. Like, I don't think
not at St. James's.
I don't think they will be like, they'll have that advantage and not see it out.
Because the thing is, that first goal for Liverpool is what changes it completely. Everything. That doesn't go in Newcastle.
And also the timing of the first goal. Like, if the first goal goes in at the 70th minute, I think Newcastle
could come back. Yeah,
not even come back, but they would have that 5 minutes where they would concede a chance or two and then compose themselves. But like, we need to realize we're a man ahead. It's the fact that Darwin scores his first goal in the 85th minute,
and the fact that first goal. How many strikers in the league scored that?
Yeah,
from that position.
I could not tell you how many people in the Arsenal team scored that goal. I could not. Martinelli maybe, and
Trossard.
If not those two who I give the highest percentage chance to, it's not a Saka finish. It's not an Odegaard or Jesus or Eddie. No. Eddie would take way more touches before he would.
None of them.
So. It's cold. But I do just think that, I don't know, like, at the beginning of the game, Gary Neville or Jamie Carragher said something quite interesting to me of like, everybody's still looking to see if Liverpool are trying to convince everybody that they're still a top club or they're still like a part of the big boys at the top of the table. And they won, so you can't say that they're not. But I've also seen enough in the performances to know you're a big boy club, but you have your downfalls, and Bournemouth could get one on you, and West Ham could get one on you, and all of this kind of stuff.
I mean, they need to sign a holding midfielder.
90 million, Paulinho. Put it there.
They have to sign a holding midfield player.
There's no way. Endo, forever good and bad he was, you can't make a judgment on a guy just off one game.
Yeah. Endo could be all right, but he's not the answer.
I don't know if he has the presence.
Yeah.
Like those times in the game where I was like, oh yeah, that's the new guy. I don't know if he has and maybe St. James's Park is in the game to judge him, but I don't know if he has the presence that
he's not for what Liverpool are trying to achieve.
We spoke about Rodri, we've spoken about Casemiro, we know who Declan Rice is.
Thomas Partey.
Yeah, like even
Caicedo.
Caicedo. I just feel like
Paulinho we spoke about.
You need a guy who is no nonsense. He's going to be in the, hook or crook and just give you that. And he's also 30.
Yeah.
which is nothing, but something.
Yeah.
You know.
And also I just want to give a shout out to Szoboszlai. I spoke about him a lot on last week's unreleased episode. I think he's a good player. I think he'll do well in this league. He was the one of that midfield three, Endo, McAllister, and him. He's the only one that played the full game.
Yeah, he's played all 3 full games.
Yeah, he was everywhere on the pitch, tidy in possession. Obviously, it was a difficult game when they went down to 10 men, but I think he looks like a proper player.
Proper player. As I think we said this again in an unreleased episode, not to go on about it too much, but Liverpool's attack is fine. They will score goals.
Yeah,
they will be those guys. If you think they're done attacking wise, they're not. Like they at any moment, Jota, Diaz, Nunez,
Gakpo.
Salah, Gakpo could bag on you, no doubt. Could turn your defender inside out and rip it home.
Yeah.
It's
I think the most impressive thing was with Szoboszlai in this game was his defensive work ethic.
Yeah,
and like the way he can cover the ground, the way he can fill in certain positions.
I agree with Szoboszlai praise. I agree with all of that.
But yeah, that was our Premier League roundup.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, there's something for fans of all clubs out there. Like we said, hopefully Brentford and Palace have some more interesting games this weekend. But thank you for listening.
Give us your thoughts, opinions, all the above, things you disagree with, things you do agree with. Obviously, the season's going to go on and we will get better at this. We'll be maybe more controversial in some senses as the opinions truly form on teams and players and managers and coaches.
Yeah.
Just happy to be here with you guys, to be fair.
Yeah. And I think obviously this was mentioned on the unreleased episode, but we've been talking about doing this for a while.
We've been talking about doing this for a while. Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, myself and Amma will have these conversations with or without you guys.
Yeah,
so we thought we might as well try to do something to help out.
This is literally what we do anyway.
Yeah, literally. And to be fair, if you're like us and you're a real football fan, like you're always kind of on the search for new content and other people's opinions. And the way other people view the game. And we try to be as unbiased as possible, but the good thing about us as well is you don't have any we're not getting paid to big up players, people or anything like that. It's just
authentic.
It's just a straight up opinion that we have.
But yeah, hopefully podcast will come. We'll film it on Sunday, try and get it out on Monday for the next episode. Big fixture, huge Arsenal games. Man United,
huge games.
So yeah, make sure you tune in for that one. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.